Hello everybody. If you're watching this video, then you most likely want to code realistic Steam code into your Scratch game. I'm assuming this is for a Steam engine, but it could also be for a Steam car, a Steam ship, whatever. It's all the same. So, let's get straight into the tutorial. First, we're going to get an event block. We're going to do a start clicked block, but you can use this with a message block, whatever. So, when start clicked, you know what? Yeah, actually, we are going to need this. This my variable we're going to use as steam pressure. So you can go ahead and name it to whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it as my variable. We've got to set steam pressure to 0 because when you start up a Steam vehicle, it automatically has like 0 pressure if you've never used it before or haven't used it recently. That's the scenario we're going with this. You can set this to whatever you want, however many PSI you want the vehicle to start with, but I'm going to make it start with 0. Now, we're going to do when I receive message block, or I guess you could do another start click block, whatever works best for you, but I'm going to do message. So we're going to make this broadcast a message. You can use this whenever it makes sense in your code or in your game, whatever it is. Just, yeah, you can put the message block wherever. But after we receive this message, what we're going to do is going to repeat until, let's say, you have a fire sprite. That's what we're going to make right now. This, let me just get rid of the Scratch Cat. We don't need you here. You are going to be our Steam train later, so you can disappear. Let's make a fire sprite real quick, okay? I'm just gonna make something really simple, like that. That, I don't know, do something like there. That's our fire. Yeah. It looks really derpy, but it doesn't matter how detailed it is. It looks for this tutorial, as long as it works. Now we're gonna get our firebox or whatever. You could do this in the backdrop or another sprite too, but I'm just gonna do it for this because it makes things easier for the sake of the tutorial. Okay, we're gonna get several different versions of the fire. The first one is gonna be the fire loaded with coal. Do something like that. The second one is going to be the fire lit, but with no coal. The third one is going to be the fire extinguished. The last one is going to be the fire extinguished, but with coal. And what we're going to do is, whenever we want this thing to start, when start clicked, or when we receive the message, for this example, it's going to be when the message happens. Also, make sure to just do that. When it receives the message, most likely this sprite is going to be hidden. So we're going to do a show block, okay? And we're going to create another variable. We're going to call this fire status. Make sure this is for all sprites, because if it's not for all sprites, then we won't be able to do the tutorial properly. I don't need to hide that variable. It is recommended that you hide it, but I'm not going to because this is a game I'm actually going to be using. What we're going to do is, when start clicked, set fire status to LC. This stands for lit coal. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to put a forever block here. We're going to do a random timer. This timer is going to be for how fast your coal burns. So let's say if you have blower controls, like if you have a steam engine and you turn on the blower, this timer would most likely go down or be shorter for us to drain all the coal. But let's say that we don't have that, and this is like your average fire. But we don't want the game to feel like, oh, there's no fire code. So I'm going to make this like, I don't know, we'll do minimum 15 seconds, maximum 30 seconds. Boom. Every time this timer goes off, it is going to set the fire status to something different. For instance, if this was lit coal, right? then the fire would just be lit. The coal would burn off. If the fire was lit, it would be extinguished because it has no more fuel. And another one that's a little bit confusing is if the fire is extinguished but it has coal, it turns into lit. The coal burns up, but the fire is lit. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a whole bunch of if blocks. I think three. 3 or 4, but I'm just going to go with 3 for now. If fire status equals LC, then we're going to set the fire status to just L, as I explained earlier. Actually, I'm just going to duplicate this one. That'll make things a lot easier. There, we're going to do that. If fire status equals L, we're going to do E. This stands for extinguished. If fire status equals EC, which stands for extinguished coal, set fire status to L. Boom. That is our fire depletion code. Now we have to make the player be able to refill the fire. That's what we're going to do for the sprite click. Code chunk, whatever you call it, the sprite clicked script. That's what it's called. I forgot for a second. Okay, so whenever this sprite is clicked, as long as it's not lit coal or extinguished coal, it should refill the firebox with coal. I said that a lot. But yeah. We're going to do first is we're going to get an if-else block. Ignore this right now. I'm just duplicating that for the sake of making things easy. Here we go. What we're going to do here is we're going to get this if-else block, and if the fire status is lit coal or extinguished coal, we're going to make it to where this script does absolutely nothing. Because it shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to refill the fire if there's nothing to refill it with. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to put the other 2 variants of the fire in here. Lit and extinguished. Here's what you're going to do. You're just going to put the variant of this. You're just going to put the same letter that's in the fire status thing, just with C after it. That's it. That's all you have to do. So it's as simple as that. Okay, right now, you're probably wondering, this isn't Steam code, this is fire code. But this is necessary if you want proper Steam generation code. I'll probably put this into chunks in editing. But anyways, let's just press start. And as you can see, the fire is lit. I'm going to move this to the center of the screen just to make it more like a steam engine. There we go. The fire is lit. Right? And in a matter of time, it is going to run out of coal. If you coded this correctly, in around 15 to 30 seconds, it should run out of coal. I'm going to probably fast forward this in editing, but yeah. There it is. Wait, oh, right. I forgot. This is why we made those costumes earlier. I forgot to code this in. But as you can see, the fire status code, it works. Okay? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Here's what you're going to do. This is just like a little bit of a bug, but yeah, we're just gonna put it in like that. See if that fixes it. I'm just gonna do 1 second. Oh wait, hold on. Okay. Huh? Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. There we go. You put it in like that. I had it backwards. Sorry, guys. Anyways, next up, we're going to do the costume code. Very simple. Should have named these earlier, but this is lit coal. This is lit. This is extinguished. And this is extinguished coal. Now we're just going to put this with the corresponding fire status. So if the fire status is set to EC, just switch the costume to EC. Same thing with any other fire status. Just do that, and yeah, it'll look visually what the variable is showing. Oops, I accidentally turned that on. Okay, that's the fire code. Now what we're going to do next up is the Steam sprite. The Steam generation code, whatever it is. So, earlier, we had this code, okay? Oh, wait. That should be a forever. Never mind. There we go. Get rid of that. We have this code, okay? Now, similar to the fire code, every 15 to 30 seconds, the pressure should go up. If we want this to be realistic and not take it forever for a steam engine to be fired up, it should take 15 to 30 seconds for the pressure to go up. Okay? Now, simple as that, you're going to go into variables, and we're going to get our pressure variable, which I still haven't renamed, by the way. Oh, wait, that's set. Sorry. Change, there you go. You do the change variable by however much you want to do. This is where you can get creative. Depending on your vehicle's size is what you would change this variable by. If you're doing something very, very large, like a steamship or the big boy steam locomotive, then you'd want to make this a very large number. But if you're doing something small, like let's say, I don't know, a live steam model train or an 040 Porter locomotive, then you'd want to make this a very small amount. I would say the smallest you should do is 0.1. That's what we're going to do for this example. Okay? The smallest you should do is 0.1. If you want to make things really interesting, you could go ahead and do something like this. Just put like some variation behind it. Now, actually, I'm going to make this a little bit a smaller delay just to make things a little bit more interesting. Now, we have the code. This is just the code for it. Yeah, if you want to see me actually develop a steam train using this code, make sure to hit the like or subscribe button for more Scratch tutorials. See you, everybody.